I'm going to show you how I made this little flexible airbag based off a Slam Specialities RE6. To do this, I've actually got a bit of a sketch here which defines, the way that I want this bag to move. I know that it's 2.9 inches compressed and then another 7.1 inches on top of that when it's elongated. Kind of assuming that this long side can only be stretched that far. That's why I've got all those measurements down that side. I know my radius is 300 mil. And what I'm going to do with this line here and this curve is actually create what's called a fit spline over the top of that. Now, I've already done that here. You can see him sitting there. But what that is instead of two different entities, the line and the curve, it's just one continuous spline that you can add relationships to. So now we've done with our sketch, just leave it visible there, but all I'm going to start doing is grabbing this end plate, mating it to the top, creating another kind of end blob here, represents kind of the end of the bag. See why it's that shape in a minute. And then for all these other guys, I've created these circular kind of ring parts, right? And finally one more for the middle. So this is, an assembly of parts that are all free to move initially. What I then went on to do is make sure that all their right planes are mated to the main right plane of the assembly. And then for each of these parts, the sequence that I went through was to make sure that their origin was along that spline that I created, and then make sure that there's a symmetry mate between the thing above and the thing below. Now, if you keep going down, and down with all those symmetry mates, they'll all kind of try and average each other in their movement. Pretty much what the bag does. Get this kind of movement where they're all moving along the spline, all kind of averaging each other's angle. Now, if you just did that, what you would end up with is this, where it's able to kind of twist along the path, which isn't ideal. So I actually created another point just on the top because my origin's on the bottom right, so there's a dot on the top and a dot on the bottom. And I made sure that both of those are coincident to that fit spline that goes all the way up. And there you have it. It all follows along. Now this is a little bit smoke and mirrors, right? Because the reason why this guy is this shape is because there's this big gap in between there. And if I didn't extend him out, then you would see a big gap in there. You might be like, oh, why don't you just make these ring parts taller then? Well, when it comes to being fully compressed, because all these bags are kind of averaging each other's movement with that symmetry mate, they would start pushing out further and you get this, weird inaccuracy happening. It's a little bit of a balancing game. It's not ideal. And another thing that I've found that happens is if you go into a part, come back out, sometimes SolidWorks locks all that movement. I haven't added or removed any more mates. It should still move freely, but sometimes it just doesn't, like it's bind up or something, and it believes that nothing can move. That's not the most bulletproof method, no, and it looks better until you start looking too closely, but for my purposes, it does the trick, so hopefully it helps you with making your bags work how you want them to as well.